Yo, what's going on? So today I'm gonna make a video about all the cars that I've owned in my lifetime, from my first car up until now. I figured it would be a good way for the viewers to get to know me, to get to know the type of cars that I drove, I owned, the type of cars that I tend to like. So hopefully this video sparks some memories for some of you. Some of you may have probably owned the same cars, etc. So let's get into it. First on the list, my 1991 Honda Accord EX. It was automatic. It was blue on tan. It had a single overhead cam engine, non-Vtec, 2.2 liter. My very first car. My mom and my cousin bought it for me. I think they paid about $1,500. Nice little starter car for the time. I was really, this car kind of really got me into Hondas. I did a lot to this car. Besides this car sitting next to me, this was the car that I probably did the most to. We did engine swaps, F23, F22B, dual overhead cam, H22, and I did a manual swap on that car. I took a 1997 Accord V6 with leather. It was crashed. I bought that car, put the leathers inside, the carpet, the wheels, the brakes. Yeah, I've been through a lot with that car. I wish I still had it, but I don't. That car moved on. Shout to SRT Osama. He helped me do that H22 swap in that car. Banging Vtec and all of that back then. So the next car on the list is my 1986 Honda Civic Si. Shout to Fashion Dread. He sold me this car. You could catch my video of him driving this car for the first time. Just check the description and you can watch that video. So basically, he bought that car in, I want to say 2004 maybe. He bought it from a guy in Jersey. I'm not sure why he didn't want the car anymore, but the car was significant to me because it was the first Honda Civic Si. It was a 5-speed manual. It was basically just a nice little sport front-wheel drive sports car. I learned a lot with that car, managing a manual transmission, shifting, heel and toe, taking on the Jackie Robinson, how to, managing my way around the twist. That was a really cool car. I bought that car from him for $600. I sold it for maybe $2,800 a couple years later, and loved that car. It had a 1.5 liter single overhead cam engine. Only made 90 horsepower, but it was pretty quick. But anyway, next on the list, my 1990 Honda Accord DX 5-speed. This car, one of my co-workers owned it. He said it had a clutch issue, and I wound up buying it from him for $200. This car was in very good condition, by the way. When I got the car home and I looked at it, the only issue it had was the clutch pedal engagement was off. That's all it was. It didn't need a clutch. It was just the engagement, and I got a I got a nice fully functioning car for $200. I probably wound up selling that car a little later on for maybe $1,000 or so. Next car on the list, this is number 4, 1998 3.0 Acura CL. This car was basically my first luxury car. I got the car pretty cheap, $1,500. Did it need anything? No, this car didn't need anything. It was just ready to go. It drove nice, smooth. Basically, it was an Accord coupe in a tuxedo. Nice car. Sold that for like $3,000. But anyway, number 5 on the list. This is my 2003 Acura CL Type S 6-speed. Rear car, I think a little over 2,000 were made in manual. It was a very fast car for its time. I think 0 to 60 was in the 5-second region. For 2003, that was pretty fast. It had Honda's highest output engine at the time. Made 260 horsepower, 6-speed manual. You put the car in first gear and step on it, it'll spin tires without even dropping the clutch. Car had a lot of torque. Leather interior, tape player, CD, very nice car, very smooth transmission. Love that car. I think I paid $5,500 for that car. I bought that one in Connecticut. Next on the list, and I started to stray away from Hondas at this point because I was seeking more horsepower, and Hondas at that time seemed kind of limited. The K series wasn't like it is today. You know, tuning just transformed the whole K series and Honda tuning to another level. But anyway, so the next car, and this is number 6 on the list, is my 1993 GS 300 black on gray, which is a rare color combination for that year actually. This car I got for only $600. The owner thought that there was something kind of majorly wrong with it because it kept shutting off. The issue was there was a heater hose towards the back of the head that was leaking onto the spark plugs. It was shorting out and shutting off. Replaced the hose, that was it. I got a $600 GS 300. You can see from the pics how mint it is. It was, it just had a little issue with reverse. This was my first real luxury car. I bought it to do a 2J swap, but I figured, you know, it needed some like door seals, and the sunroof was leaking a little bit through the water vents. So I decided to sell that car. The next car, number 7, is another GS 300. This was a 2002 GS 300 Sport Design, silver on black leather. You know, the Sport Design had the perforated leathers. It was really nothing that special about the Sport Design besides the trim, the little emblems inside and out of the car. It came with special mats, and I think that was pretty much it. And the perforated seats. The 03 had the saddle interior, which was the most coveted interior for those 2nd gen GSs. But the 2nd gen was probably the best riding car that I ever had. 2nd gen rides so beautiful. I want another one. It was dropped on Tanabe Suspect Pros. Car was a nice car. Also planned to do a 2J swap in that car. Didn't work out. I think they wanted like 10-15 grand to do the swap. Titan Motorsports, and I just didn't want to spend that type of money. So that's 2J swap stories to be continued. The next car I got, number 8. This is my first brand new vehicle, 2017 Toyota Highlander XLE, black on black. I just bought this as a work vehicle, A to B, get work done with it, and that was it. At the time, it was what, 2017. I was just happy to buy a brand new car, even though it wasn't, you know, sporty or anything. But my first brand new car, I was happy about that. Number 9 is this baby right here, my 1992 Toyota Aristo 3.0 V. So with the failed attempts 2J swap in my first 2 GSs, I found this car for cheaper than what it would cost to buy a GS and do a swap. So I wound up selling the other GSs. Found this car, at the time it was in 2017, and these were going for around 8, 9, 10, 11,000. That's what these went for back then. 2JZ GTE, right hand drive, no sunroof, which is how I like it, less issues. And I picked this car up in Virginia. Car ran great, automatic. I did a lot to this car. You can check out my in-depth review. Single turbo, V160 manual swap, suspension, brakes, Recaro seats, you name it. I did it all because I wanted this car to be like a Grand Tourer car. Car I could take on a highway and go fast with it. Car that I could take on the circuit and go fast with it. I just wanted to prove that this, for a four-door platform, could take on a lot of other sports cars. So stay tuned for more content with this car. Now my next car, this is number 10, is my 1992 Mercedes-Benz 500 SL. This car got me into the Mercedes game. This car was like a gray on gray, almost like a gray copper type of color on gray. The car needed an engine. Found this car in Farmingdale, I think. I paid like $2,000 for it. Put an engine in it. Drove it around for a while. I loved the car. Everything worked. The top worked. No issues with the car, but my cousin, I guess he liked it a little bit more than I did, so he made an offer and I wound up selling it to him. But that Mercedes SL bug just kept itching after I sold that car. So next car on the list, number 11, is a 1994 Toyota Crown Majesta, white on like a brown color interior. This car had the lowest miles of any car that I've ever bought. It only had 24,000 miles. This was a JZS platform, so the Aristo and the Crowns, they share the same platform. The Crown Majesta is the same JZS platform. So this was a JZS 149. The 149 just signified that it had air suspension. It was just a bit more luxurious than the Aristo. It drove a little bit softer. But other than that, it was pretty much the same car. Maybe a little bit more features and stuff like that. Sold that car to a friend of mine a little later on. The next car, number 12. Like I said, I had that Mercedes bug. I had to get another one. 1998 Mercedes SL 500. Black on black with a Brabus package. Now this car was not a real Brabus car, but it had a Brabus package. So it had a Brabus front bumper, rear bumper, muffler, and steering wheel, all authentic. I think I bought this car for maybe somewhere around 10 grand, somewhere upstate. The guy had a couple nice high-end sports cars and he had to get rid of something, so that's what he got rid of. So unfortunately I had to get rid of this car. Oh, it also had some BBS LMs. It was dropped on H&R's. The car really looked like a supercar. It was, you know, it had the 320 horsepower M119 engine. It was fast, but you know, it wasn't like a real Brabus, but it was a very nice car. So the next car on the list is number 13. I got another 1994 Toyota Crown Majesta. This one had only 15,000 miles, and this one was a JZS 147 because it was just a basic car. It had no air suspension, it had no traction control. It was the most basic Crown Majesta you could get, but it was in mint condition. The paint was original, everything was original on the car. 2JZ, 15,000 miles. The car, not exaggerating at all, the car drove like it was brand new from the factory. No lie. No creaks, no sounds. You close the window, it's dead silent. The craftsmanship on that Crown was just immaculate. So I sold that car a couple months later during COVID. The car I had after that, number 14, was a 1995 Toyota Sora 2.5 GTL. So it was an automatic car, but it had a 1JZ turbo engine. Everything was stock. The car was fully stock. I dropped it on some teen suspension. I had it repainted. The car was black on black, and this was another car with like black cloth interior. Every car that I've gotten from Japan thus far had no leather interior. They all have cloth. The cloth or wool interior in Japan kind of signifies a higher level of luxury than the leathers did. For some of you that might not know, that car probably had around 80,000 miles, something like that. I sold that car a while after I got it, and this is a car we imported by ourselves. After that, the Mercedes bug got me again. This one was a real special one. This car right here, my 1991 300 SL 5-speed manual get rag transmission car. This car only has 106,000 miles. I'm not gonna say how much I bought it for, but I got a good deal on it. I'm not sure if the person I bought it from really knew how significant this car was. Yeah, I wasn't really too sure that the person I bought it from really knew how rare these were, but they only made 397, and I own one of them. Everyone that sees it says they didn't even know they came in manual. You know, not planning on selling this car at all. We'll see what happens with the market. The last one I saw sold for almost 25,000 on MB Market. So let's see how it goes with this one. This one is pretty immaculate. I did do some work to it. Front end resprayed, new bumper, R17 AMG wheels, H&R springs to drop it, and everything else is just stock on the inside, as you can see. So these two are my toys right now that, you know, I'm just in love with. I don't see myself selling them, but who knows. And my next and final car that I bought is number 16, a 1995 Toyota Cresta Tourer. So this car was a JZX90, very coveted car now. Everyone knows him as a drift missile. 4-door sports car. You know, some people call it a 4-door Supra. 1JZ turbo, R154, good times. When I got the car, unfortunately, it needed more work than I thought. We changed the drive shaft in it, a lot of stuff, suspension we went through to get it to where it was. But ultimately, the car was very nice when I was done with it. It had a welded diff, but very nice car. Had the car painted in Japan. I had it painted like that white pearl Lexus color in the late 2000s. I'm not too sure of the paint code, but then I wound up selling that car a little later on. I won't say how much I got it for or I sold it for. I don't want to mess with the market, but yeah, that was my last and final car. As you can see, I'm really into the JDM cars. They really control my interest. 3 Mercedes and 13 JDM cars. So that's it. You know, I'm always on the lookout for something rare, something beautiful, something that I could, you know, play around with, tinker with. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it brought back some memories. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Peace. Them a go out like them a gangster. Me want know which god of them sponsor. Turn the AK across the banks and question them. Me no get no answer.